power on what might exactly influence the composition of the next cabinet. Have you wondered what that would look like in the next couple of months? Well, tonight we'll bring you the story, the analysis, and all in-depth on all that. But first, the headlines.
The Togolese president is in Uganda as part of a mediation team on the conflict in the eastern DRC.
This problem is really well known. It's not such a...
To provide the list of all polling stations.
Supreme Court in the Robert Kasmante presidential petition.
That's when we shall give you a date when we shall deliver the judgment.
What are the gaps in their argument?
Oh, you don't know.
Mwanga Chivumbi's charge sheet amended. 24 more suspects added to the list.
Who killed these 7? That is the issue.
The dynamics in choosing the next cabinet.
The role of PLU.
Who are those hoping to join the queue?
Someone should really be up to the task.
And the good news is,
technology is most important on this project.
Government is looking for experts to beat the July deadline for the first oil.
Working towards achieving that goal.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Kanuri Mugume and Samson Kasumba.
We do welcome you to this edition of NBS Live at 9. Top story tonight, an African Union delegation led by the Togolese President Faure Esozimna Gasimnedbe, the newly appointed mediator in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo crisis, has met President Yoweri Museveni in Entebbe to advance regional peace efforts. The delegation emphasized African-led solutions, saying continental leaders best understand and can resolve Africa's complex security challenges.
In a renewed push to strengthen peace and stability in the region, an African Union delegation led by Togolese President Faure Esozimna Gasimnedbe, the newly appointed mediator in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo crisis, is in Uganda and has met President Yoweri Museveni at State House in Entebbe. The high-level delegation includes former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, and former Ethiopian President Sahel Work Zwede. The leaders are seeking African-led solutions to the security situation in Eastern DRC, stressing that the continental leadership best understands the complexity of the conflict.
We now see AU doing what it should do, being in the forefront and really seeking African solution to African problem.
The visit comes amid ongoing international peace efforts, including a United States brokered agreement recently signed in Washington. However, the AU facilitators noted that such initiatives have not adequately involved all actors contributing to the insecurity in Eastern Congo.
Some of our brothers have gone to look for solution in Washington. And Washington is interested in what will be solution. But solution from Washington may not be the full solution to our problem. There are militias, not just M23, there are other militias in DRC.
During the meeting, the delegation called on President Museveni to renew his active involvement in resolving the DRC crisis, citing his deep understanding of the region and its dynamics. President Museveni welcomed the request and pledged Uganda's support towards restoring peace in Eastern Congo.
We know the problem so well. It's really a shame that it should take so long because it is easy to solve. So we thank you for coming to visit us, and we shall play our role here.
President Museveni further highlighted Uganda's role in hosting more than 500,000 Congolese refugees, noting that continued instability in the DRC poses significant humanitarian and security challenges for Uganda and the wider region.
We have got 500,000 Congolese here. They are part of the 2 million refugees who are here in Uganda. Uganda now is the richest in hosting refugees.
The AU delegation's mission underscores renewed regional momentum towards achieving lasting peace and stability in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo through coordinated African leadership and sustained dialogue.
Now, lawyers representing National Peasants Party presidential candidate Robert Kasibante faced rigorous questioning from Supreme Court justices after they failed to identify the
Stephen Musota, Christopher Madrama, Catherine Bamugemerere, Monica Mugenyi, and Muzamiru Mutangula Kivedi convened to clarify the grounds of the petition that will be considered during the hearing. The court sought clarification on the allegations forming the basis of the case. However, while counsel for Kasibante outlined the merits of the petition, the justices directed them to name at least one of the 15,000 polling stations they claim were illegally selected.
The second respondent be directed to provide the list of all polling stations at which polling was conducted and declaration forms from those polling stations.
The votes as they were tallied at the polling stations are not the votes that were ultimately transmitted.
Kasibante's lawyers indicated that they were not ready to disclose details of their evidence at this stage, prompting criticism from the bench over what the court described as a lack of clarity in the complaint.
It has been the zoom into where, because you see, there is so much documentation. Where exactly do you want to target?
The discrepancies are too many, my lord, but I do not want to go into the issue of making it submissions before in scheduling, my lord.
Those polling stations, and you say they were here, or you don't know.
My lord, that is the essence of the application. Once the order is given, we shall be able to compare and contrast.
The petitioners' lawyers also asked the court to allow them to cross-examine the Electoral Commission chairperson, Justice Simon Bebakama, and the Deputy Attorney General for up to 2 hours on the alleged electoral irregularities, should the case proceed to a full hearing.
But we expect that we make out a good case for the court to direct the chairperson of the Electoral Commission to come and address us or be cross-examined.
The respondents objected to the request. The respondents, including President Yoweri Museveni, Attorney General Chiriowa Chiwanuka, and the Electoral Commission, informed the court that they intend to present 16 witnesses, 2 from the Attorney General's chambers, 6 from Museveni's legal team, and 8 from the Electoral Commission.
We have 2 witnesses from the Attorney General's side. I think there are about 6 from the first respondent and about 8 from the second respondent, that's Electoral Commission.
Chief Justice Dr. Flavian Zeija briefed both parties on the next steps in the proceedings and announced that the court will communicate when it will deliver its judgment on the 18th of February 2026.
Of the 18th of February, that's when we shall give you a date when we shall deliver the judgment.
The Supreme Court is expected to rule on whether the alleged irregularities were substantial and whether they could have affected the outcome of the election, including the possibility of annulling President Museveni's victory.
The prosecution in the terrorism case against Butambala Member of Parliament, Mohamed Mwanga Chivumbi, has amended the charge sheet, adding 24 more individuals to the case. The involvement sparked a heated exchange in court, with Chivumbi's lawyers objecting to the manner of his arrest. They urged the judge to dismiss all prosecution witnesses and instead order investigations into the deaths at Chivumbi's home, arguing that the focus should be on these killings rather than the alleged violations of his personal liberty.
In the early hours of the morning, heavily deployed prison warders escorted the Butambala Member of Parliament, Mohamed Mwanga Chivumbi, into the courtroom at the Butambala court amidst tight security. The court session attracted a large crowd, including National Unity Platform NUP leaders such as Joel Senyonyi, the party spokesperson, Lewis Rubongoya, the Secretary General, his deputy Aisha Kabanda, relatives of the suspects and other supporters. At around 11:30 a.m., the state prosecutor, Rachel Bakole, confirmed to court that the accused was present and proceedings began. And like the previous appearance, Chivumbi this time was represented by several lawyers, including Erias Lukwago, Meded Lubega Seguna, Asuman Basalidwa, and Sam Moyizi, among others. However, the prosecution informed court that it had amended the charge sheet and added 24 more suspects to Chivumbi's case file. Chivumbi's lawyers requested court to first allow them time to study the changes made by the prosecution and also to consult with the newly added suspects. Those who were initially charged with inciting violence have now been formally charged with terrorism.
Maybe I would also ask us there alone, because the original charge sheet was this. So what happens to their charge sheet of incitement to violence with which they were charged?
The prosecution alleges that the accused, driven by political motives, committed acts that threatened national security, including planning and attacking police at Chibibi, and acts of violence during alleged vote-rigging incidents in Gomba, during which property was destroyed and 7 people lost their lives. After reading out the charges, the prosecution requested an adjournment until the 17th of this month, stating that investigations are still ongoing.
His statement.
We have his statement, Your Honor. At the right time, we shall disclose.
Chivumbi's lawyers, however, asked court to consider what they termed gross violation of human rights, arguing that to date, Chivumbi has never recorded a statement regarding these charges. They also stated that at the time of his arrest, he was not informed of the charges against him until he was produced in court. One of Chivumbi's lawyers, Medad Segona, told court that even when Chivumbi attempted to explain that 10 people were killed at his home, the police officer from Kira, who was questioning him, dismissed the issue.
And it is upon that stage that the police decided to terminate his statement recording. A clear indication that they did not want to hear about it, and to that they wanted to dictate the kind of statement from him.
Even if it is taken as a fact that there were 7, who killed these 7? That is the issue.
And the DPP is running away from investigating it, even in court here.
The 24 suspects added to Chivumbi's case file were then brought back into court in a session closed to the public, where they were read the earlier charges that had first been brought against them. The magistrate will deliver a ruling on the 17th of this month, when the accused will be produced in court again.
Away from court, talking the corridors of power is centered on what might shape the composition of the next cabinet. With much still uncertain, speculation is rife over the factors determining who will make it to the list. Now, key considerations appear to include the push for party transition and the potential return of veteran leaders whose intentions may not be overly ambitious.
May this year, the newly elected president is slated to swear in on the 12th when he assumes power as president. Thereafter, the president will be expected to appoint his executive, currently composed of 80 ministers, with uncertainty on whether they will increase or reduce. The dynamics, however, on how this cabinet will shape have become a talk of the day in the corridors of power and among political pundits. Issues suggested to be among the considerations is a prevailing group of young party members who have already been incorporated, like Lilian Abba Fiona Nyamtoro and Baram Bargahara, members of the Patriotic League of Uganda of the inner transition.
The role of the CDF, the role of PLU in having a share in cabinet, I think is going to increase. The role of those considered to be young people.
Professor Gerard Kareja explains that the balancing of new forces, settling worrisome regions and political activity of some opponents will be critical. The position of individuals termed to be historically loyal and stood with the president will be looked out for.
In the broader strategic thinking of the president, their political value has diminished. They will be given peripheral appointments like presidential advisors, heading boards, to remain in the system, but where they have insignificant influence on decision making.
However, the Secretary General to the National Resistance Movement, Richard Tudong, says the intolerance of laxity and corruption is what is going to inform individuals looked at in the appointments for cabinet.
That someone should really be up to the task that will be given, because the next government, we really want performance. We want to deliver on what we have promised the people. And we will not tolerate any level of indiscipline, any level of laziness, any level of laxity.
Some critical areas on the watch include a Patriotic League of Uganda that signed an MOU with National Resistance Movement prior to elections, the Democratic Party, whose cooperation agreement remains uncertain, but backed the National Resistance Movement presidential candidate, giving it a leverage, and the UPC, whose minister served in cabinet with a silent MOU. The NRM Secretary General indicates a retreat will be attended soon to initiate the newly elected individuals, again as a process to ready them for the opportune time.
That is going to have a retreat soon, and in this retreat we shall discuss all these things. We shall have resolutions, and these resolutions shall be agreed upon, and whatever we shall agree on in the retreat definitely shall be the working document for the next administration on behalf of the party.
What remains to be examined is a heavy stretch of inner transition within the cabinet and where exactly the control will lie between the youthful group and the historicals.
All right, so there are different categories that, of course, we're speculating here, but the different categories that the analysts do think that the members of the cabinet are going to come from. Let's take a look at those different categories. Now, the cabinet hopefuls, we also now take a look at those. One, you have the NRM loyalists who have been loyal to the NRM and the party president. We have those that are going to be retained, who are always bouncing back. Then we have historicals. Now, historicals is here. You have members of parliament who ran out of favor and have now bounced back into parliament. They are hoping to be appointed again in cabinet. You have lobbyists, those that do lobby for power. And then you have the promised candidates, those that were asked to step down and not stand in parliament, but with our promised positions. You also have that category. Then you have alliance candidates. Democratic Party and UPC for a long time have been alliances have created alliances with the NRM, and therefore we do hope. Of course, we saw that with the Democratic Party and UPC, with two ministers coming in from there. Then you also have the PLU hopefuls. Those we saw in the last cabinet, a couple of them have been, been appointed as cabinet ministers. 3 of them as we speak. We do hope that these are also going to form part of cabinet. Then you also have surprises, those that you did not think or never thought that are going to be appointed ministers. These are the different categories that we do hope the cabinet hopefuls are going to come from. You can add on the list, but these are major ones. And let's just also throw some perspective onto that particular story. And now joining us is Timothy Chemunges. He's a governance expert with Center for Policy Analysis. Timothy, many thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Let's discuss of course, the dynamics on the cabinet formation. What exactly do you think is going to form the cabinet this time round? It's been 40 years of the NRM. Many people say the cabinet ministers that have been in the last cabinet are quite old, or the current cabinet are quite old. We saw some youngins in there, newcomers. Who do you think is going to be in the next cabinet? What sort of category?
Thank you, Conry. I should start by saying that reading the mind of the president is something that's extremely hard in comparison to many of the leaders that we see. And so coming up with a very clear assessment of who would fall within the cabinet list is something that he holds on his chest. But we could use the parameters that we see currently, some of those that you've listed, but also recognizing that the NRM has campaigned under the manifesto of protecting the gains. And I see the president more firm in terms of ensuring that the leaders that are going to be part of the cabinet are those that first probably will be very keen in supporting him in delivering services, but also strengthening the economic base as is championed. But also more importantly, I think that there are 2 other factors as indicated. One is on the PLU hopeful. I think that the PLU, as we've seen in the recent appointments, there seems to be a very great influence from that direction. But also looking at some of the appointees, I think that the criteria would largely be the capacity to ensure to deliver, but also address some of the challenges that we have currently in the country.
Right. That could be ideal, but there's also another factor that does determine the appointments of these, and this is a big one: regional balance. Some complain that, look, you've appointed more people from this region, and yet this region does not even have a single person in this cabinet. And then there's even need to balance religion, the Anglicans, the Catholics, and then the Muslims. I mean, aren't those two big factors that are most likely going to determine the appointments?
Not really. I think that for me, those are desirables. Matters religion, matters region. At least in the coming cabinet, there will be more desirable factors to be considered, but it would largely be centered around the ability to deliver, the ability to see the question of transition that we have currently in the country, but also contributing into how the country eventually realizes the question of the economic growth, but also having...
Well, that's ideal. I mean, realistically, don't you know that there have been appointments where there's need to balance region and religion?
That's true. I mean, you see, if you look at those two parameters, religion and region, they are desirable. And there are things that would be desirable in appointing the candidates. But the factors that the president probably would be considering, and I think that when I listened to the Secretary General of NRM, he says that they will be going back for retreat to consider some of the candidates. I think far from it, it is largely the president that is at the center of this in determining who supports him in the next cabinet.
Right.
But the factors around the cabinet, especially for this, looking at it from a perspective of a more transitional sort of government, that as we go through this term, President Museveni most likely is winding up, and so having leaders who are more critical, probably even in the transition question, and also service delivery ultimately.
Timothy Chemonges, many thanks for speaking to us tonight. He's a governance expert with SEPA, Center for Policy Analysis. And now, one of those people that, of course, are in that cabinet, the current one, Norbert Mao, who is also the Democratic Party President General, has officially declared his intention to contest for the position of Speaker of the 12th Parliament, saying the decision follows calls from several people who believe in his leadership. He highlighted that the cooperation agreement between DP and the ruling NRM gives him an advantage and could afford him support from the party which holds majority in the 12th Parliament.
As legislators await gazettement and swearing in of the 12th Parliament, Norbert Mao, the elected Member of Parliament for Pechelaro, has confirmed his interest in the Speaker race, potentially setting up a face-off with the current Speaker Anita Among. Mao expressed confidence in his ability to lead the next Parliament, adding that several supportive legislators have already approached him.
So, NRM can support a DP candidate for Speaker, the way they supported our candidate for Iyala.
Democratic Party DP currently has only 6 elected legislators in the new parliament. Mao says he has begun consultations with President Museveni to explore how the DP-NRM cooperation agreement would strengthen his support. He also acknowledged the party's declining influence in Buganda, where DP secured only 1 parliamentary seat in Bukoto Central, attributing the outcome to the internal divisions and malignment. On recently concluded elections, Mao noted widespread electoral malpractice, blaming the Electoral Commission for how the process was conducted.
More to come.
When we return from the break, candidates for councillor and LC3 chairperson positions across the country are finalizing preparations for elections scheduled tomorrow, which is Wednesday. We'll bring you that story and much more when we return from the break.
You will always know when you're in the presence of the finest. It's like time slows down, just enough for you to feel everything in full flavor.
Just Malt Lager. Alcohol is not for sort of persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a chef. I want to be a mechanic. I want to be a musician. I want to be a basketballer.
Twinbrook International School is a school where you will see people from around the world. It's diverse. You will have the opportunity to experience things you've never experienced before. We have highly skilled teachers and a comfortable environment that does not pressure but eases the minds of students to help them into their future careers. Our school integrates art, culture, history, language, and performing arts such as drama, music, and dance into the academic curriculum. Work smart, succeed. Twinbrook International School.
Are you planning an event or wedding? Join us at Nikan Resort Hotel, Uganda. Relaxing accommodation rooms, well-equipped conference halls and boardrooms. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity to experience the best of hospitality and sufficient space. We're located in Seguku Katale, along Entebbe Kampala Road, channeling easy access to Kampala City and the airport. For reservations and inquiries, contact using the information on your screen or visit our website www.nikanresort.com.
If whiskey could talk, Johnny Walker Black Label would sing. With notes that only come with 12 years in a barrel. Sweet, smooth toffee, rich fruit, and a touch of smoke. Tastes as good as it sounds.
Today, we choose our future. We choose peace. Let's protect our home from violence. Differing choices are part of democracy. Every voice matters. Every vote is for our shared country. Trust in the process and the electoral bodies. Let's vote with our hearts and minds, without provocation and intimidation. This is home. Let's keep it safe. Let's talk peace.
Welcome back. It is the Forum for Democratic Change that has contested the outcome of the January 15th presidential elections, citing widespread flaws and a lack of credibility in the electoral process. The declaration was made in Mbale as a former presidential candidate Nathan Nanda Mafabi spoke publicly for the very first time since the polls closed.
The Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, has formally rejected FDC leaders, including former presidential flag bearer Nathan Nandala Mafabi, described the general election process as deeply compromised.
So that's why we are questioning ourselves, is it necessary for people to continue in elections in Uganda at this rate? Is it necessary? Is it necessary because the security vote, tick ballot papers, people are beaten, people are done. Is it necessary to go to election?
Nandala attributed his performance partly to what he described as widespread voter bribery, allegedly orchestrated by the ruling National Resistance Movement under the supervision of the Electoral Commission.
Mad with money from treasury, and the people seeing money, and the Electoral Commission not acting. It shows Electoral Commission is a tool for the NRM to do this process.
He also criticized the Electoral Commission chairperson over the malfunctioning of the biometric voter verification kits, BVVKs, describing the failure as a scam and an embarrassment to both the Commission and the country. FDC party president Patrick Amuriat Oboy echoed Nandala's concerns, saying the flawed process warranted a by-election. However, the party has not filed any petition seeking legal redress.
There's a possibility that we could have a by-election. James Nathan Nandala will be our flag bearer at that by-election.
We have structures of the party, the National Executive and the National Delegates Conference that can direct us what to do or not what to do.
We're talking candidates for councillor and LC3 chairperson positions across this large country are finalizing preparations for elections scheduled tomorrow, Wednesday. They have raised concerns with the Electoral Commission over alleged irregularities that marked the recently concluded polls. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has urged voters to turn out in large numbers, highlighting the low participation observed during the elections that preceded the presidential and parliamentary polls.
Only hours remaining before the LC3 chairperson and councillor elections, candidates across the country are making last-minute preparations for the decisive polls that will determine their place in local councils. In some areas, candidates cautioned the Electoral Commission against a repeat of the chaos that has marked recent elections. Others raised concerns over the involvement of the army, saying that it is often where problems begin.
Responsible, in fact, to control their emotions, because yes, the army must be here, must be with us to keep peace, and the police to keep peace and order. But then, people, the common people, they fear.
We saw what happened recently when our colleague Amos Masco was protesting. People were holding sticks, shouting at their colleagues, saying that, oh, mutere, meaning you beat you.
Electoral Commission spokesperson Julius Muchunguzi clarified that the Commission does not create chaos, but rather issues arise from those participating in the elections.
The elections have gone successful and are going successfully well. Where there are issues, the right channels that are provided for in the law are available to any dissatisfied person.
He further urged voters across the country to turn out and vote, emphasizing that these local leaders are responsible for service delivery.
1.6 million registered voters across the country to show up tomorrow to elect their leaders at this critical local government level. The Commission has been very consistent in saying that local government leadership is very critical.
Earlier today, persons with disabilities elected their representatives to Parliament with no reported incidents and good voter turnout. Tomorrow's elections will be followed by the final vote of the female Member of Parliament representing youth, scheduled for Friday.
Aviation experts, Captain Edward Francis Babu, has warned that merely changing the chief executive officer of the national carrier is not enough. He called for the formation of a special task force to revamp the flagship airline, emphasizing appointments based on skills and experience. Now, Babu noted that the focus on understanding and prioritizing regional routes along with leasing aircraft to reduce maintenance costs could help the national carrier grow and compete effectively in the aviation industry.
The Uganda airline, which was revamped in 2019 as a national flagship carrier, has suffered some setbacks that have caused a leadership rift with the board, putting up a special call for a replacement of the top executive role. The senior aviation expert, Captain Francis Babu, has echoed that the problems of the Uganda airline started from the onset.
Right from the word go, they got it all wrong. A lot of people have put emphasis on aeroplanes. They don't even understand them. What did we want the airline to do? When you start an airline, what is your vision? What do you want to do?
Reflecting on the gaps that are part and parcel of the airline, Babu says they cannot be resolved by credentialism, but rather it requires a small task force.
The major people in the task force are the leader group, you need a finance man, you need marketing, and you need operations. 4 things. Now, to start Uganda Airlines again, to revamp it, forget about the board, forget about the people who are there, get a small task force. And I propose it should come from outside this country.
The airline, which is now operating with a small fleet size and faced with high maintenance costs, Babu says there is need for a leasing.
A lease purchase means you lease an aeroplane and you pay either every 3 months or every month. And after 1 year, 2 years, after using the aeroplane, they take it back and they give you another one. And you continue. So your maintenance costs are reduced. Njauro is pushing people to buy aeroplanes. No, we don't buy aeroplanes for a small business entity like ours.
He says that appointment of personnel from the business world without skills and experience is a wastage of resources.
So flying is really somewhere where you need to do your internship or your apprenticeship in the airline. You cannot come from some of our other business organs and just think they can run an airline. You can't. Somebody said, oh, running an airline that it's a cutthroat business. You need very sharp people. I've seen people floating now that they want to try people of Ethiopian Airlines, people who are retiring and so on and so forth, which is good. But who started Ethiopian Airlines? Trans World Airline.
Let's leave going to the moon for a second and go to the ground. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda has confirmed ongoing negotiations with oil companies to bring in more expatriates, citing the critical need for high-tech the country meets its first oil production target by July 2026. Now, Petroleum Authority Uganda Executive Director Ernest Rubondo assured the nation that companies are working around the clock to meet, and this is agreed timelines, with most work expected to be completed by April.
While on his 2-day tour to Tilenga Oil Project in Bulisa, the largest oil field in Uganda, the Petroleum Authority of Uganda Executive Director Ernest Rubondo said in their desire to ensure they achieve first oil by July this year, they are working out a plan with oil companies like Total and Sinuk to bring in more expatriates, saying they are now at a critical stage that needs high-tech engineering, which the country may not have.
We are at the time when technology is most important on these projects. The kind of work that is being finished now in order to prepare production process requires more expatriates than the previous work did. So to some extent we find more of that, but it's a discussion the authority has with the companies, and at no point has it failed, so it's going very harmonious.
Rubondo, however, reassures the country that they are still on course of achieving its first oil, saying so far Tilenga is at 65% completion, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline EACOP at 78%, Kingfisher in Kikube is at 90%, while the pump station is on course.
The visit we have had yesterday and today demonstrates that all the players are working towards achieving that goal. In order to produce oil at the end of July, some aspects have to be completed earlier, like February, March, April. And so we can see some of those actually being completed. And so we think we are working very well towards the first oil.
Rubondo confirms that an investor has already been identified to develop the oil refinery that is critical for oil development in Kibale, Hoima district.
The refinery, the government has found an investor who they are working with to develop the refinery. Aspects of financing projects is more of an investment aspect that the Ministry of Finance has.
Let's go to the courts. Courts, not court. It is Buganda Road Chief Magistrate's Court that has remanded City Lawyer Male Mabirizi until February 18th after he was arraigned and charged with 4 counts related to offensive communication, hate speech and defamatory utterances allegedly directed at Chief Justice Flavian Zeja and High Court Judge Musa Sekana. The charges are brought under sections of the Computer Misuse Act. State prosecutors allege that the offenses were committed through Mabirizi's TikTok account with the content published within Kampala and Wakiso districts. Presiding Chief Magistrate Rita Kidasa read out the charges which stem from statements allegedly made earlier this year targeting the 2 judicial officers. Mabirizi raised a preliminary objection accusing the magistrate of having an interest in the matter and requesting her recusal. He insisted he could not take plea before her. Proceedings briefly paused before resuming, after which Mabirizi denied the charges. His lawyers did attempt to apply for bail, but the application was rejected on the grounds of failure to file it through the court's electronic system. Mabirizi was consequently and subsequently remanded until the 18th day of February for a bail hearing well after Valentine's.
Using a computer via TikTok account at malay.mabirizi, sent, shared or transmitted information about or relating to the Honorable Chief Justice Zeja Flavian, the Chief Justice of Uganda, that he is a conman and fraudster, corrupt, sold off his property to pay a bribe for his appointment as principal judge of Uganda. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is that true or false?
False.
The accused is remanded until 18th February.
Time for us to look at your opinions to the question that we asked. What measures can be taken to ensure that tomorrow's LC3 chairpersons and councillor elections are conducted peacefully? Let's hear if you have some ideas that are not too late. Peaceful elections depend on clear practical steps, deploy security forces professionally and neutrally, enforce the law against violence without bias, ensure polling materials arrive on time, allow agents and observers full access and communicate results transparently. Above all, respect the will of voters. Nothing fuels unrest more than manipulation. Well, that is a citizen there. And Ronald Nkrumah says, as LC3 elections take place tomorrow, peace depends on informed voters, disciplined candidates, impartial security, efficient officials, responsible media. Is there a responsible media? Swift, compliant handling, and community leaders promoting calm, tolerance, and respect. Let's hear from your leaders. Oh, well, our leaders. Okay. I met Mr. Stanley Johnson, an author and former member of the European Parliament, who is also the father of former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Mr. Johnson has been visiting a number of Uganda's key tourist and conservation sites, including Mgahinga, Chambura Gorge and Kazinga Channel and the source of the Nile in Jinja. I'm pleased that he appreciates the strong link between our natural environment and tourism development. We discuss issues of mutual interest, particularly the importance of common markets and common environmental policies. I welcome him to Uganda once again. He has a welcome. Blank check there. Okay. I warmly welcome His Excellency Fur Esozi Esozimna. I will not read that name. I'm not in the mood to bite my tongue. President of the Republic of Congo, who is here on a working visit as part of the AU-ESC SADC panel of facilitators on the DRC peace process. His panel comprises of His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo, His Excellency Uhuru Mungai Kenyatta, His Excellency Sale Wok Zwede, His Excellency Mkogwetsi Erika Kebwetswe Masisi, and His Excellency Catherine Samba Panza. Our region remains committed to dialogue and lasting peace. Somehow, thank God, my tongue has survived those names.
Dismiss moment.
Let's fight some fake news here. In our dismiss moment tonight, a video circulating on social media, particularly TikTok, claims to show Uganda's Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng, announcing an outbreak of Nipah virus in Kasese district. However, the claim is misleading. Now, the video alleges that Uganda is headed for a nationwide lockdown following the purported outbreak. However, again, the dismiss fake news desk, we do have a fully fledged one here, has established that there is no confirmed Nipah virus outbreak, at least not in Kasese or anywhere within Uganda. The Ministry of Health has officially dismissed online rumors alleging deaths or infections linked to Nipah virus, and no lockdown has been announced by the minister or the government of the Republic of Uganda. Furthermore, checks show the footage used in the viral clip is old and taken out of context. Now, the original video dates back to 12th June 2019. You know where we are going with that. When Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng addressed the media about Ebola virus disease situation in Kasese. It was. At the time, Uganda had confirmed an Ebola case involving, and it did involve a child who had traveled from DRC, that's the Democratic Republic of Congo, and health authorities were conducting contact tracing and response measures. In the 2019 briefing, Ebola, not Nipah virus, was the subject of the minister's communication. Nipah virus is a zoonotic disease that has been reported mainly in parts of southern and southeastern Asia, including India and Bangladesh. While recent reports have documented cases in India, there is no evidence, none, of Nipah virus transmission in Uganda. World Health Organization, WHO, continues to monitor emerging infections and infectious diseases globally. But Uganda has not reported any Nipah virus cases or outbreaks. Health-related misinformation can cause unnecessary fear and panic. The public is advised to rely on Next Media and NBS, let's just say official health authorities and credible news sources. Credible now, you know, NBS, when encountering alarming claims online. Listen to us, read in our post, you will know the truth. Well, I've got that one task. After review, dismiss.
Today is a good day to draw up a new play. So start something. Make your move and get in your groove. Do it for the gram. Do it for the culture. Be loud. Be extra. Be a thinker. A life eater. A Tusker light drinker. Start something. Turn on your lights. Tusker lights.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength, because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
or 0758-853-285. Depo Uganda. Tried, tested, and trusted.
Hey, hey, travelers. Are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom. Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelecom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-5000123.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe. You can hire any of our 3 VIP cruise boats for groups of 10, 14, or 25 people. Or you can cruise out with swag on a luxury yacht for 12 people. Our premium boats are all safety compliant. Make your next vacay an all-round experience at Pineapple Bay, located on Bolago Island, right in the midst of Lake Victoria. Talk to us today.
Welcome to World Navy Uganda, your trusted getaway to Japanese cars. We deliver direct from Japan, cutting out middlemen to give you the best prices. Choose from thousands of inspected vehicles, sedans, SUVs, vans, trucks, even hybrids, and so much more, all with verified mileage and guaranteed quality. Enjoy transparent pricing, fast shipping, and after-sales support right here in Kampala. Visit us at Forest Mall Lugogo or explore online. Call 256-704-105-159 today. World Navy Uganda, driving excellence from Japan to your driveway.
Welcome back. Well, let's start off our business segment with one of your favorite topics, social media. With the global social media advertising revenue projected to reach $152 billion in 2026, opportunities for young creators and the entire online ecosystem in Uganda and around the world could be huge, as experts call for more supportive regulatory framework that allows for cost savings on data and other charges in access to internet and social media platforms.
Uganda's capital Kampala buzzes with businesses, mostly informal, and universities here churn out almost 700,000 graduates per year. Its oldest university, Makerere alone, is slated to graduate more than 8,000 this 23rd to the 27th this month on its 76th graduation. The fear of unemployment and the unforgiving pressures of starting up business has created creative ways of survival for many young Ugandans. Samuel Mwesigwa, a university student, has built a fortune around content creation.
Being a hard situation here in Uganda, by all means, when you hear word content creation,
it has come in people's mind as fast as possible, if they could think of any way to earn. Likewise me. So when I thought of that way where I could get something faster, wow.
His content has likely received visibility and a source of income.
Like the least I can do for one video, 350. And the month has been bad. I think like 2 M. Some months like November and August. Like there's some months. You could even get like 12 M at once.
Mwesigwa is not alone.
I'm always active on X.
Cynthia Shab has built an online community and a following on X, formerly Twitter, burgeoning in thousands.
Digital agencies reaching out to you to push campaigns or create content. So it's a source of income, and I think I'm among the people who have earned from it and many others.
A data reporter's report indicates that there were 2.4 million active social media user identities in Uganda by January 2025. This means that scrolling past social media platform feeds and timelines is not limited to killing boredom, but for business and survival for many.
Then there are social media strategists who have to sit down and think of when can I put up this content, what's the suitable time, what are the suitable parameters, who are we going to work with. Those social media strategists, they also get paid. So it's an ecosystem and people can get paid differently.
With businesses increasingly digitizing and looking at platforms such as TikTok, X, Meta, Instagram and others to market their products, the future is bright for those interested in the field.
The trend changed from it just being brands and products doing the business online. It's also the individual accounts doing the same thing. It's spread out over public platforms, private chat rooms like Discords or private groups whereby people are transacting. Maybe the currency there is Bitcoin, for example. Then you will find other open marketplaces like the likes of Jumia, Glovo, Dazomat, etc. all transacting these places with, let's say, integrators like mobile money and things like that.
However, challenges exist in the trade.
Data just be like, you've used 100% of your data. So that is one challenge. And the speed of internet. There's some things you'd love to do like on time, but then the speed of internet is going to limit you in a way.
Experts say that the policymakers can do much better to improve the regulatory framework as the National Development Plan 4 is aligned to digitization.
Well, let's go ahead and look at our Forex numbers today, or rather what the currencies are looking like as of close today. I guess we'll start it off there with the dollar. The US dollar is buying at 3,561.05 while it is selling at 3,571.05. The British pound, on the other hand, is buying at 4,874 shillings there and selling at 4,888.59 shillings. The euro was buying at 4,203.46 and buying for that amount at selling at that amount at 4,215.98. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 27.58 and selling at 27.70. The Tanzanian shilling, on the other hand, was buying at 1.36 and selling at 1.39. That's our Forex tonight. Well, looking at our sports this evening, the Federation of Uganda Football Association, or FUFA, has provided an explanation of what happened when FUFA presented its special budget petition to the Parliamentary Committee of Education on the 27th of January 2026. Ahmed Hussein, the FUFA Communications Director, highlighted the documents guiding the budget process and way forward.
The procedure of rules for Parliament on how to present documents or for proposals, and the Federation followed the guidelines. There are about 7 documents that you would follow and help you with how to formulate a document of this magnitude. So whatever the Federation did was within the rules as stipulated for the N1. It can be an individual, it can be an institution, and in this case FUFA did the right thing and the most correct, and presented a document. And this document is about how they want the game to be played, how to improve the game. It's not about benefiting any individual. That document presented by FUFA to the Committee of Education and Sports did not have any item regarding the AFCON 2027. However, there are areas that are going to help us improve on the performance of the national team, that's Uganda Cranes, during the AFCON 2027, and the different measures definitely lined up. And remember, this is a document that would call a wish list that you're presenting to someone, a wish list that you're presenting to an institution. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything has been approved.
And now, the 2026 Fortbet Real Stars Monthly Sport Award of January have been held with top performers in athletics, football and golf awarded. Jacob Kiplimo, Vipers SC midfielder Abdul Karim Watambara, as well as professional golfer Willie Deuce Chitata were crowned the best in athletics, football and golf, respectively.
Deus Chitata, in his few words, he says that winning in our professional golf is not as easy as in amateur. In amateur, almost everyone is a winner in every tournament because there are a lot of trophies. But in pro golf, only the best are remembered. And for him to be able to pick up his first pro win at the Thika Greens Royal Resort Golf Course in Nairobi meant a lot to his career because he's been pushing to make sure that East African golf goes a notch higher.
I feel really great to winning this award today, and it's a privilege to be nominated, and it's an honor, and I give the credit to my teammates who have helped me to achieve this today, and I think it is just the beginning of everything, because we are trying so hard to defend trophy, and I think me winning this trophy, winning this award, it has motivated me as a player to continue doing what I've been doing and correcting where I've been going wrong.
Don't let your mornings be boring.
We have somebody on the line. Morning Switch, good morning.
Yes. This thing started as small thing. These people, the ones he's talking about who are corrupt, these are people who didn't return balance of 500 shillings back in the day. Just 500 shillings. They were not returning balance. The mom asked Saba, they lie that they increased the bread price. Budget $5 million. No, they gave us $3 million.
I thank you, Michael. Good morning.
Catch the Morning Switch Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. only on 106.1 Next Radio.
When the news moves, you move with it on AfroMobile. Get real-time updates and the moment they unfold. Choose from over 80 live TV and radio channels and follow current affairs your way on the platforms you rely on the road, in the office, in the middle of your work, or out and about. AfroMobile keeps the story going with you. Download AfroMobile today and stay connected to every update as it happens.
Are you ready to experience the ultimate in live events?
Can you sit? Can you sit?
From local to global, we bring you the most exciting events 24/7. Stay informed with live breaking news.
Habemus Papam.
Keep in the know of what's happening around you and beyond. NBS Live. Live and filtered and missable. Exclusively on Afro Mobile. In a digital world, not everything is what it seems. False stories today spread faster than truth, leaving us all wondering what's real. Disinformation misleads, misinformation misguides and spreads confusion and fear. Dismiss, a campaign to help you think critically, question wisely, and verify thoroughly. Join us. Let's build a more informed Uganda, one truth at a time. Dismiss, inquire, verify, confirm. Together, let's fight fake news.
The world is going digital and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Scan the QR code and apply now. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
Up next. Brought to you by Rock Boom. Energy for winners.
We've definitely come to the